This Saturday, we have a massive card. Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes, Bam Rodriguez versus Fernando Mendoza, Brian Norman versus Devin Haney, and for the main event, David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde. Now, while Benavidez is the main event, I expect him to stop Yarde within 10 rounds. I expect Bam and Mason to also get dominating victories as well. But the fights that we all love are the fights that we truly don't know who will win. And that's the Norman versus Haney fight. Brian Norman is the current WBO welterweight champion, coming off what was possibly the knockout of the year when he beat Jin Sasaki back in June. He's only 24 years old and just seems like a guy who really means business. Somebody who just cares about boxing and none of that extra stuff. And I love activity. This will be his third fight just this year, all for title fights. I don't care who you are. If you fight 2 to 3 times a year and you're active, I'm going to love you. He's 28-0 with 22 knockouts. He has power. This is something that we all know. Devin Haney is the former undisputed lightweight champion coming off a lousy win over Jose Ramirez. Haney is still trying to find that spark after his fight against Garcia. Now Haney's a bit older, 27 years old, but he has accomplished a lot in his career so far. I mentioned his success at lightweight, but he also bumped up to 140 and completely shut out Regis Prograis. He's 32-0 and he's the same height and has the same reach as Brian Norman. Now expect the jab to be very, very important in this fight. We all know the jab is the most important punch, but when they have 72-inch reaches, the same reach, same height, this is going to be very, very important. It's going to be used a lot in this fight, I guarantee you that. And let's be honest, Devin Haney does have a pretty solid jab. Whoever can stick the jab most efficiently could be the winner. Now a big concern with Haney is his power. He does have 32 wins, but only 15 by knockout. But I really do respect Haney for taking this fight against Brian Norman, because Norman's a killer. Haney has the abilities to outbox Norman, and Norman has the abilities to really spin Haney's head around. If Haney was to outbox and pull off the win, expect it to be a boring night. I already know that Haney's going to be fighting off the back foot. That's really his only chance to survive in that ring. But he's a really good fighter fighting off the back foot. He's a good fighter circling around, keeping his distance, and trying to outbox it. It's boring, I admit. We all know that. But he's good at it, and that's how he can pull off the win. Expect him to do that. Expect the game plan to be him circling around, keeping his distance. It'd be stupid for him not to, honestly. If he was to go toe-to-toe with Norman, he'd get knocked out, he'd get stopped. We saw what he did against Ryan Garcia. All right, that was a bad night for him. Very bad night for him. If he expected to do that against Brian Norman, a bigger fighter, it's going to go bad for him. It's going to be up to Norman to cut off the ring and really apply the pressure all night. He has to. He has to keep up on Haney. He has to try to break him down. Before we continue, I'm going to give a shout out to my sponsor, that's Hayabusa. Some of the best boxing equipment out there. Make sure to use the code ALEXD, ALEXD, all caps, get a percentage off your order. Link is down below in the description. And Brian Norman has a really good hook, just like Garcia did. Might not be as fast, but Haney needs to watch out for that. If he gets caught, it might be even worse than how he got done against Garcia, because he has much more power, this Norman guy is. A lot more power. That hook, that lead hook, it can really be a problem. Haney cannot get caught. That's why I think he's going to circle, keep his distance. I know Haney's not dumb. I know he's smart, right? He's looking at the film. He's saying, all right, we got to keep our distance. We got to circle. We got to fight with the back foot. Expect that to happen. So what are my final predictions? Well, this is a fight I really just don't know, okay? You'd think, welterweight, Brian Norman, a killer, the current champion, that he could get this done. But the reality is, this is Devin Haney we're talking about, a 2-division champion, one of the most skillful fighters out there. We have to admit that, right? He's been inactive lately. He's been quiet lately. But it could win. He could win this fight. Norman could also win this fight. But a power puncher versus a good outboxer, we know how it usually goes. The outboxer wins. So I think Haney is the favorite, in my opinion, going into this fight. Simply because of styles. You have a good power puncher, a guy who's going to try to brawl, guys who's going to try to cut off the ring and try to fight with you. Listen, Haney also has just a better resume and more experience. Compare Haney's resume. Linares, Kambosos, Loma, Prograis, Ramirez. I mean, that's better than all the guys that Norman fought. All right, no disrespect to Norman, but Norman's not experienced. Norman doesn't have the big lights like we're going to see in this fight. Haney's been there before. He fought in stadiums. He fought in Times Square. He has the big lights. Norman doesn't. Expect this to be a clinic from Haney. He's going to try to put on a clinic and going to try to outbox him. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to outbox him. It's going to make it a boring fight unless Norman finds a way to really get in there, get up in his grill, and apply the pressure all night. That's my prediction. I think Haney's going to pull it off with a boring decision win, but it's 55-45 in favor of Haney. Now, it's a very close fight. If I'm wrong, if Norman knocks him out, well, hey, I mean, it's not that surprising. If Haney knocks out Norman, well, then I'll be surprised. I'll be really surprised. But I expect Haney to pull off the decision victory. Let me know down below, guys, in the comments what you think. Who's going to win this fight? Comment leave a like, subscribe, help me get to 25,000 subscribers. I'm out, guys. Peace.